Make sure that you have the paper for how to do an interview. I will go through it. Make sure that you are listening and then also filling in the paper. The first thing that you want to do is you want to pick a good topic. And so we talk about there's 6 different purposes of media. And the first one is to teach. So they're trying to teach you something. Think of an example of an interview where they're trying to teach something. Maybe, for example, we had a video with Mr. Harmon teaching audio tool on announcements. Think of other interviews where they're trying to teach you something. Another purpose of an interview is to express opinion. And again, you need to write down an example too. You don't need to write down my example. You just need to write down an example. So express opinion, an example for that one. I remember one year we had an interview about students expressing their opinion about wanting to bring backpacks to class. So you're just expressing an opinion. Now, I'm going to hop over to this one because the purpose of that may be to actually persuade. So you're trying to persuade someone for your point of view. So you could use the backpack as an example for that one as well. We also do interviews about bringing in box tops. We're trying to persuade people. When they bring in the box tops, that helps our school make money, which is also another purpose of media. For our interviews, there's probably not going to be a lot of interviews where the main purpose is to make money. So that's why I put those in parentheses. All right, and then the other purpose of media is just to inform, just to give information about something. So maybe we're doing an interview to let them know about what PBIS is, the PBIS lessons that we do on Wednesdays, or other type of just an interview that's giving information. For these, I'm not going to write them in, so please make sure that you are following along. When you first start your interview, you need to do some planning. So you need to brainstorm some ideas for topics that could go on announcements. We use these interviews for our inserts and announcements sometime during the semester. So think of any type of interview that would be a good thing to put on announcements during the semester. List a few people, experts is actually what I want on the blank. List a few experts on the topic. So who are the experts on the topic? So a lot of kids like to pick the person first and say, I want to interview so-and-so. You should actually pick the topic first, and then you find the expert on the topic. So expert goes on this line. So an expert is a person who is very knowledgeable on that topic. The next thing you want to do is you obviously want to ask the person, because you can't plan out the whole interview and then find out that the person doesn't want to do it. So you want to ask the person. You could either ask them in person is best, or send them an email, and then ask when a good time is. So the best time to do an interview is during video productions class or during that teacher's planning hour, possibly maybe at lunch or after school. So your whole group has to commit to, coming at lunch or after school if the particular person can't do it during video productions hour. All right, the next one, you want to prepare a list of questions and you want to email them. So email goes here. Again, if I'm going too fast, just pause it. So prepare a list of questions and email them to the person with the taping day and time for approval. So let them know if that's okay. You can also ask them if they have any other suggestions for questions, because if they're the expert on it, maybe you're totally missing a question that you should be asking. So you could ask them for approval, like, does this look good? Do you have any other ideas? So again, you're preparing a list of questions and emailing them. And then you want to storyboard the questions and plan out the camera shots. on the storyboard. So I guess I have storyboard twice. So maybe finalize the questions, I think I'm supposed to put here. So finalize the questions. If you already wrote storyboard, that's fine. Finalize the questions and plan out the camera shots on the storyboard. Since an interview is all about asking questions, that's the most important part. So you want to try to make sure that you're getting good information. Interesting information. You could put a lot of different words on that line. You're trying to get information about the topic. You want to ask open-ended questions. So when you ask the question, the person could talk for a little while. Don't ask close-ended questions that are like 1 or 2 word answers. Don't ask yes or no questions for the same reason we talked about not using closed-ended questions. If it's especially for informational, make sure you're getting the who, what, when, where, why. And then make sure that you are always sticking to the topic. So all of your questions should be on topic. When you are ready to do the interview, here are some suggestions to make sure that you're doing a good job. So make sure you be prepared with a camera and then microphone, storyboard paper, full battery or close to full, and your SD card. Make sure that you explain each step or question. So when you interview someone, they might not know that they're supposed to look at you and not the camera. I have a lot of people when they do interviews that they look at the camera, but during an interview that you're supposed to be looking at each other. So you are going to have to explain that. You are the professional in this situation. You are going to have to explain that you are starting and stopping the camera for each question. And setting up a different camera shot. So make sure that you explain that. If you didn't get the answer that you were looking for, ask it in another way. So ask the question in another way. Sometimes, even teachers, if they're getting interviewed or principals get nervous, maybe they start answering the question and then get off track and they never ended up asking the question that you wanted. So ask the same question in a different way. This is one of the most important ones. Let the subject talk. Don't be quick to turn off the camera or to stop them or ask the next question. Give wait time. So wait goes in this blank. So let the subject talk. Give wait time. You want to make it sound conversational. So when they're answering the questions, you need to pay attention and you need to act interested or be interested really in what they're saying. Use your nonverbal body language like nodding or smiling or, and if during the interview when they answer the question, you think of another question that's maybe not on your paper, ask it. So really pay attention to what they're saying. And then the last thing is give people something, or show people something, sorry. And that's your B-roll. B-roll's right here, but write it on the line. So you want to tape relevant video. Ask for pictures. Maybe if you're interviewing them about something, you can ask them if they have pictures. And then obviously search the internet or YouTube for video B-roll. So you can get pictures off the internet, and you can download YouTube videos for B-roll to use as long as it's related to the topic. All right, just final here, some taping tips. Make sure you pick a good location. Use a variety of camera shots. You're going to use mostly inside and over the shoulder. And make sure the camera should be facing the person that's answering the questions. So you shouldn't ever be videotaping the person asking the questions, like when they're answering it. Hopefully that makes sense. The focus of your interview is the person who's answering the questions. Do one question at a time, and then redo the question if needed. So if you mess up, after you are done taping the interview and start editing and you say, oh, we forgot this question, or the mic wasn't working, or, we messed up, you aren't going to go redo it. So when you are taping it, if you mess up, you need to redo that question immediately. So that is it. When you are done, oops, you know what? There's one more that got cut off here. So The better job you do at taping, the easier it is to edit. So write edit on the line. All right, then you're going to flip your paper over, and I want you to prepare a lead-in. Someone is going to interview you, so you write down what are they going to say to interview you. So one basic thing I will just say is you could say, would you like to meet an awesome 8th grader? So that would be like a basic intro, but that's one way that you could do it. And then go over these questions. I will have the camera shots drawn in for you to follow. And then you also have a wrap up, and you are being graded on having at least 3 pictures, using correct camera shots, good audio, camera still, and editing this with a title, trimming it, and credits. We won't watch these in class, but I will watch it for a grade. So if you need to go back, if you missed anything, go back in the movie and get it filled in.